Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. In this video, I want to just quickly go over the Best Buy results and also about the news about the Twitter whistleblower and what it means for Elon Musk and a few other things. So let's get started. So while we wait for the economic data to drop today, Best Buy has reported and it has exceeded both top and bottom line expectations. Its EPS came in at around $1.54 as against an expectation of $1.27, and its revenue came in marginally above expectation at $10.329 billion. However, what needs to be noted is that Best Buy had already reduced its projection for the full year, and the current results show a drop of 13% in second quarter sales. This is another clear indicator that inflation has cut down discretionary spending budgets for most of the customers. And this is going to be an important factor that's going to hurt stock market going forward. One thing that we have to keep in mind is that we are contrasting performance of Best Buy against a previous year, which saw Best Buy sales raise 20% thanks to the lockdown and work from home situation, because that had led to streaming devices and computers as well as equipment needed for home office and homeschooling to increase in demand. And since then, the lockdown has eased and many have returned to work. As they return to work, they have hyper costs related to fuel and travel to work, as well as higher costs of eating out. This means they will need to curtail spending. You would recollect that semiconductor companies had earlier warned us that corporate hardware refresh cycles are being delayed. The same would be said about households that already have plenty of gadgets and may delay any further upgrades for later, given the inflationary pressure squeezing their pocketbook. Another data point that I would like to bring to your attention, which you may probably not see on a regular basis, is that the report from India is that exporters in India have reported a 30 to 35% drop in orders destined for the Christmas market. This also shows that the Christmas market is likely to be a bit lackluster, and therefore the Santa Claus rally is again a bit suspect right now. India is the only economy that is projected to log more than 7% growth, and the Q1 GDP numbers are expected tomorrow. And if it meets expectations, that could provide a mild boost to the market and keep some hopes alive. Meanwhile, I expect Tesla to get some boost today as Elon Musk's desire to get out of the Twitter deal gets a boost. Elon has subpoenaed the Twitter whistleblower Peter Zatko, and it seems more likely that Twitter may have a weaker hand in this case going forward.
A former head of security at Twitter is alleging the company has misled regulators about its cybersecurity defenses and its ability to protect user accounts. Twitter stock fell more than 7% on the news, losing $2.4 billion in market value. Now, members of Congress are calling for an investigation citing national security concerns, and there's questions about what it could mean for Elon Musk. Here's CBS's Nicole Killian.
Tonight, explosive allegations from a Twitter whistleblower. Inside this 84-page complaint obtained by CBS News, Peter Mudge Zatko says there are extreme, egregious deficiencies inside Twitter when it comes to user privacy, digital and physical security. Zatko worked as Twitter's head of security for 2 years before he was fired this past January.
What he found inside this company was unlike anything he'd seen elsewhere.
John Ty is Zatko's attorney.
Does he still believe that Twitter users are still at risk?
Absolutely. And that's why he reluctantly has decided to become a whistleblower. The complaint details multiple respects at which the data and individual users are handled differently than Twitter has said publicly.
This latest blow comes as the website is engaged in a war with Elon Musk, who pulled out of buying Twitter over concerns about the number of spam bots on the site.
There was no coordination. We've never communicated with Elon Musk or his team.
Twitter said Zatko was fired for poor performance and said the complaint was riddled with inaccuracies. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
The fact remains that Elon Musk made an unconditional offer, and his pre-offer tweets indicate his knowledge of the bots issue. We'll have to wait for the courts to decide. Facebook, meanwhile, seems a bit rudderless, and it's a big question how Facebook can maintain the energy and enthusiasm for its platform, given the criticism about the quality of Meta graphics.
Launching a virtual reality game, Horizon Worlds, in France and Spain this week, And with that launch, this photo of Metaverse Zuckerberg himself in front of a virtual reality Eiffel Tower and what's supposed to be La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Now he's getting dragged on the internet for how ugly the graphics of this game are. Fortune calling it an international laughingstock, Slate labeling the look so stupid, and Forbes asking, does Mark Zuckerberg not understand how bad his metaverse is? CNBC technology correspondent Steve Kovac is here. Apparently he does know how bad it is because he changed it or made an announcement he's planning to change it. Right?
Yeah, that's right, Eamon. He made an announcement just a couple hours ago, actually, after 3 or 4 days of people really making fun of this graphics. I mean, I played computer games back in 2002 when I was just a teenager that looked better than this. So he basically said, look, you know, this is basic. We're working on it. We're going to make it better. And he put a picture kind of teasing what it might look like in the future. They've showed those images before, so you can be a little skeptical.
This thing looked like Wii Sports from 2008 to me, right? I mean, it had a very kind of retro feel. Was that intentional, or did they just screw this up?
I think, well, screw up is a very strong way to say it, but it's definitely a strong way to say it, but it's definitely not.
But they spent billions. I mean, they pivoted their entire company to the metaverse,
not
right?
just billions, Eamon. That virtual selfie we saw of Mark Zuckerberg, that's a $10 billion selfie. That's what $10 billion buys you. That's where the criticism's coming
But this isn't an incompetence in terms of the technology and the design. This is a strategic choice somebody made that just turns out to be a bad choice, right?
Right, and they're starting off very slow. Keep in mind, they're starting from scratch on all of this, so it is going to look a little rough around the edges at first. So to give them credit, yes, by their own admission, this is a beta product. It's only in a few countries. This selfie came out because it's launching in Spain and France, so they're building this very slowly and deliberately. Mark Zuckerberg himself said it could be 10 or 15 years before this vision actually pans out.
And overall, it seems after the sugar high of seeing new social media platforms, the general public is now weaning itself out of the platforms and sees them for what they are. After people get jaded with trolling and bad behavior, it's likely that these platforms will eventually settle down to a feel similar to what we have with free email systems. They will still be around, they will be useful, and they'll be used, but it will not remain the center of our everyday lives, and that's the way I think it's going to be in the future, more like utilities. There eventually will be plenty of precedent sets as lawsuits get decided in courts, and that will moderate the abuse of these platforms and also force platform owners to implement much needed reforms. Having just bought iPhone 13 Pro, I'm having buyer's remorse as I hear that Apple will still hold an event on September 7th to announce a slew of new products. Apple usually drops the price of older models when it releases new ones. I think I missed that opportunity when I bought the iPhone 13 Pro last week. It'll be interesting to see if we get an iPhone 14 and other upgrades. Having missed on the iPhone 14, I'm looking forward to picking up some Apple shares today to sell when it peaks at the launch next week. Wish me luck. Well, friends, that brings me to the end of this video. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to press a like out there. It helps the channel. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help us grow this channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.